Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm a girl with a horse tattoo, and today we are doing another episode of Life After Travel. This is where we talk about just basically life abroad and transitioning either in that same country or transitioning into America, whatever it is that is right for the person, you know? And so I am so excited to welcome my guest, Gabby. Please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh, we gotta do a little dance to get up in. Here, it's early. It is 9 a.m. here in Thailand.
I know it's so late in Thailand. It's dinner over here in California, and I'm so glad you decided to do this channel. We're gonna backtrack a little bit. We're gonna go from past, and then I'm gonna ask you some more present questions. Just think about that first time you were moving to Thailand, and you're about to get on that plane, and you didn't know what to expect, and you were doing Explore Asia. What was your mindset like? What was going on?
In 2017, which is when I first got here, there were a lot of things leading up to this moment. As I'm sure a lot of people who have traveled abroad or moved abroad know, is that some sort of culminating point in your life gets you to that moment where you go, I'm going to completely change my environment, pack up my whole life, and move to another country. For myself, I had never even traveled to Thailand for a vacation. I hadn't even been here before. I was just like, you know what? I had seen things on Facebook, and you know how you see ad on Facebook for like a teacher, I'm living my life abroad, I teach here, I'm having a great life, and you think, I wish I could do that. I wonder if I could do that. And I always kind of told myself, nah, you can't do that. And then one day I thought, why can't I? What do I have here in Canada? Because I'm from Canada. I was working for the government as an analyst, and I had kind of been in a hamster wheel of just the same thing all the time, and always thinking, what's going to be the next thing that's going to bring me joy or happiness? I don't know why, but I kept thinking it was just going to come to me. Moving to Thailand was me making that choice and going out of my comfort zone, making a bold decision. It was a bold decision.
I was in my Aunt Angie's house, and I was watching Discovery Channel, and I saw the floating market. That's Thailand. That looks cool. But other than that, I had no idea of what to expect. I love how you said that your life is culminating of making decisions to lead you up into this point of being in Thailand, all connected, because I can totally relate to that because it happened same for me. And that's actually, guys, how we met. We met together in Thailand in Explore Asia. I want to know from you, when did you know I can mess with this girl? She's cool. Because I can think in my mind when I was just like, okay, I like her. I like her personality. She's dope. I can think in my mind, but I want you to go first.
Your energy is just, you can feel that from across the room, girl. And I don't know, there's something about you and your openness and the way that you are ready to just talk to people, and you want to get to know people. You want to know what makes them tick. You want to have fun. You want to let loose. You want to dance a little. Dance a lot.
So we were with our group or whatever. It was our first night out, in Hua Hin. We were at this little shack or something like an outdoor bar or something. You were dancing, and then we just started vibing with each other. And then after that, I was just like, okay, this energy, this connection, okay, there's something there. Dancing really is the universal language. It really is what connected me to a lot of cool people that I met abroad.
That reminds me actually of one of my other favorite memories of you and I, when you came to visit me and we drove out to the waterfall. Guys, we were in a waterfall in the middle of rural Thailand where there's literally no one, and it's all Isan people. The majority of people in this area haven't even seen any foreigners. And we're in this waterfall, and there's a group of older people. We ended up starting this whole vibe with these older people, and they came onto this rock, and we were all dancing.
I have such a connection with older people because of my grandma. Ever since when I first went to Costa Rica, that was my first study abroad thing. I just connected with the older people in Costa Rica, and that's just been a comfort. Everywhere I go, I have to find the old people and connect with them. You're in somewhere called Kasin or something?
Kasin is a small town in Isan still. I love Isan. It's the northeastern part of Thailand. Right now it's winter. It's a chilly 73.
Yeah, guys, that doesn't sound cold, but like if you're in beaming hot Bangkok or beaming hot Samut Prakan or wherever you are, going to the north part like Chiang Mai, Isan, going to those parts, it is a breath of fresh air. You can put on your little nice like fall clothes. It's lovely.
That's kind of what I love about this area. And even here in Isan, in April, we get 100, it was 115 for 2 weeks straight. 115. That's about 80 degrees more than I need.
My sister literally broke out in hives when she came and visited.
And actually, I think that's something that I do want to talk about real quick, is that there was another factor to my moving here. I have chronic hives, so I totally understand the pain of hives. Chronic hives means that your body, there's no actual reason other than an autoimmune, metabolic, whatever problem that's going on with your body. It's almost like an allergic reaction to nothing, and then your body has no idea how to stop itself. So I suffered from it, and my second episode was before I left for Thailand, and I had hives for 376 days straight. Yeah, it's not easy, and I do want to kind of do a little shout out to my fellow CIU survivors, because I'm on a support group on Facebook, and I think it's really important that people understand what hives look like, how to recognize it, because it can be a little bit scary when you see somebody covered in lesions and something on their skin, and there's a little bit of a stigma there with going out in public and having your body covered in some sort of skin. And people get the same problem with eczema.
I met a lovely person in Thailand. Shout out to she. She actually is going to come on to one of these channels. But she has a whole journey on Instagram about her eczema and how it literally, the doctors gave her steroids. She got addicted to them, and then her whole process coming back into the States was trying to rejuvenate her skin and going through withdrawals. She was really addicted, and her skin is finally starting to look recognizable. She posted the whole thing on Instagram.
I find that there's just not enough people talking about it. Before I left, I had those every day, all day, and a lot of people were really like, I don't know, cruel, like a little bit. You get that energy of like, definitely some ignorance and people just not understanding. And there's a condition that comes with hives called angioedema, where the tissues in your face swell. So it looks like some extreme plastic surgeries at sometimes. It'll be just the lips, the eyes. It can be very jarring for some people to see, and a little bit scary, I think, and some people just don't know about it. But it's out there. Look it up. Check it out.
I definitely can relate. I was diagnosed with Crohn's in 2017 before I came to Thailand. Basically, I deal with like inflammation and swelling of like the digestive tract. And so I definitely can relate when it comes to inflammation. It's unusual to look at when like I swell, but it's also painful. The pain is something that I really like, nobody can really empathize with. I definitely can connect in that area. So is Mickey like a companion to this, or is he an empathy dog?
I don't even know how I got so lucky with this boy, because Mickey is the shining light of my life. So he's a miniature Dachshund dog. I've had him since he was 8 weeks old. I got him in Canada. We've been together for 7 years now. I was 19 when I got him, and I really genuinely wasn't sure if that was going to be the right choice, but I did feel confident that I could commit myself to this and be able to bring him through life with me. He's a small dog, if anybody knows what miniature Dachshunds are.
I'll put a picture. Send me a picture later.
You're a girl with a horse tattoo. I'm a girl with a dog tattoo.
Yes, I love that. Please subscribe to the Girl with the Horse Tattoo / Girl with the Dog Tattoo on that episode. Please. Woo!
I love it. He's been there through everything. He's seen me at my worst, at my best. I think that, technically, obviously, Mickey has absolutely no training whatsoever in terms of being like a therapy dog or anything like that. But for me, my therapy, he is the thing that grounds me. It's the thing that keeps me accountable. He's been there when I've been at my worst. He's been there at my best. And he is now extremely lucky to be here in Thailand with me. When I first came to Thailand, you guys didn't meet him, so that was sad. For me, the purpose of going without him the first time was I needed to make sure that this environment that I was coming into was going to be safe, was going to have accessible vet care, accessible, good dog food. I wanted to make sure that I could give him the same equal care and love and life that I had in Canada here in Thailand. And I knew I wanted to live in a rural area. And I love Thailand. It has so many amazing things, but I definitely think that the pet care and the vet care here could definitely use a little bit more support in advancing forward because they are a little bit behind.
And I came and visited you in Ubon, ratchathani. You were kind of like supporting the neighborhood dogs. You would leave food and water out for them. Just kind of like stay connected. It was just something that you naturally, you did. You just had this instinct to like just care for your community, for all of the animals in your community, all of the people. It was beautiful to see, but I do have a question as a person that doesn't have that is not a dog owner. I got to watch my friend's dog for a week, and I noticed that the dog was not used, the dog is like a house dog, and it wasn't used to like interacting with other dogs, and every time it would get kind of like protective. And Thailand has a lot of street dogs. So how is that, has that been kind of smooth, like having like a domesticated dog with like the street dogs interact?
It's been a challenge, I'll tell you that. I have a bike, and that makes my life a lot easier. On my motorbike, Mickey stays in a bag, so you know, traveling with him in terms of like street dogs, I don't have any problems when I'm on my bike. The street dogs, I don't think really pay any mind. My neighborhood is really, really quiet. I can I'm gonna flip this over a little bit. Can I switch this so you can see my nice quiet little neighborhood? And we can see actually Nugget right here just sitting. Hey Mix, do you want to say hi?
Hi.
He's just hanging out, looking at everything. So my neighborhood here is really quiet, and that's something that I was seeking out when I was looking for houses.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky in that sense. I walk him in my neighborhood, and my neighbors have dogs, but they stay in their yards, and I don't really have any problems. I do walk him outside sometimes, like in certain public areas, but I have to go and assess it first, and that's just the work that I do for him.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how Mickey holds you accountable, because you are a better person because of the better things that you have to do for the dog. And I just want to briefly talk about just like the logistics for people that have dogs that want to come abroad, the paperwork and stuff.
There's tons of logistics. So to bring a dog to Thailand specifically, I don't know about other countries, you have to do your research first of all for any country you're going to move to. And the rules and regulations are constantly changing, so always look up online. There's also online so much confusing information. So calling your local vet or finding a vet that specializes in traveling is really essential. That's what I did back at home. I found a veterinarian's place that had a vet that specialized in specifically traveling dogs and what the process was. So in terms of Mickey, his body, he had to be completely good to go, which meant a ton of shots and vaccines. He had to be microchipped. He wasn't neutered because, to be honest with you, I mean, in Canada, I'm not really worried about him going out and he's not out free having, you know, sex with other dogs or whatever. It's not really a concern of mine. So for the process to go over, though, they just said because Thailand is a country at risk of, you know, there's already so many dogs, street dogs, they don't allow any dogs in that are not neutered. So I had to get him neutered. Like I said, microchipped. He had to do a series of different examinations to make sure that he was okay. All the vaccines had like multiple different layers to it. So you'd have to go in like first one, the second one, the third one, all the different rounds. And then the last thing after all that is that you need to get, it's a ton of paperwork. You have to get paperwork from the vet, I have a binder. I literally have an entire binder dedicated to his paperwork that I traveled with. I was like a crazy dog mom, you know, I'm like, I got his papers, I got everything, his passport, it's all.
Wow, oh my gosh. You came to Thailand. I don't know, I guess it was a new year. It was some kind of holiday. I guess it was a new year. You came to Bangkok. You were like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. Take me back to Isan. So what are some of the qualities that Isan brings out of you? How does it center you and anchor you and make you feel grounded?
I mean, I grew up in a town of, I don't know, like 500 people. I mean, I don't know the exact population, but I just come from a small
Alexa,
little...
What's the population of Kalasin?
Definitely not that. However, small town and rural areas just really bring out the best in me. I don't feel comfortable in big cities and being crowded. I can go there like we did New Year's, and that was so much fun. I enjoyed that, but I enjoy going back to the nature, the kind of like slow and steady lifestyle of the country. And Isan people here in Thailand are just something special. I'm telling you, I fell in love with these people. They are just so special. It's not about what you have, it's about who you have in your circle. It's about the good times that you create together. Some of these people have nothing, but they have some of the best times, and they dance and they have fun. And for me, that's kind of the core, most important component of life, is to be able to enjoy every day. Yeah, I don't know, the rural part brings that out in me. I love being close to nature. Even, you know, a lot of people might say, like, you're in Thailand, like, shouldn't you be by the beach? And I'm like, no, I'm totally okay being out in the rice fields. It's a different kind of beauty. It's all beautiful in its own way.
Greenery, just it's unparalleled, unmatched. It's so raw. I think the rawness, the groundedness, and it literally takes you on this breath of fresh air. You can actually hear yourself think, and I want you guys to just imagine something so raw, beautiful, untouched, uncolonized, free.
Special.
Very, very special.
And access to fresh, like, this is a farming area, so access to fresh veggies, for me, that's really cool. I love that. I'm over here, I'm always munching on veggies for snacks and stuff. My Thai mom across the street, she thinks I'm crazy because I'll be over here cleaning my yard with like a pack of tomatoes, munching out and just loving life.
You look incredible, by the way. You told me, I think you told me you were doing keto, maybe?
I did keto when I was back in Canada because I went back to and then come back here. But I haven't been doing it recently. The thing that's really been helping me a lot is intermittent fasting. And that's, I mean, obviously, if anybody's going to try this, you need to consult a doctor or do your research and do your due diligence, and also always listen to your body. But I've been on this journey with intermittent fasting. So I'll stop eating usually at 8 p.m. at night, and then I won't eat until 1 or 2 p.m. the next day. So it's about 17 hours fasting-ish. I'm not good at math. I'm not a math teacher. I'm an English teacher.
We could do the math, or we can just go to the next question.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Were you able to reconnect with anybody from Ubon, Ratchathani, or?
One of the reasons why I went back to Ubon right away was because one of my friends that I met here in Thailand, who I was working with at my high school back in my old village, was getting married. So I came for a wedding. Oh yeah, that
was on my bucket list. I always wanted to do that. Please share, please share, please share. What was it like?
I've been to so many Thai weddings now that I absolutely love it. But Lay's wedding was absolutely, by far, so special. And it was a reunion of all the people I'd worked with and all the people that I knew. All of our friends came from all over. So in the morning, Thai weddings, there's always a morning ceremony. We were up at 5 a.m. and we were out on the streets by 7 a.m. I think 7 a.m. And they do kind of a ritual where the husband comes in with his family, friends, surrounded by the people he loves, and banging music, like some Isan, rural music. Oh yeah. And everybody's dancing, and it's kind of like an offering, and the husband arrives to the wife, and it's this beautiful morning that you get the morning sun. You're tired, but everybody, the energy and the vibe just keeps you alive. And then everybody has like a breakfast thing, and then there's an evening ceremony like we have back at home, and that was amazing. Lay, my friend, and all of our guy friends and all of his friends did this insane dance, choreographed dance, like a mashup of like 20 songs. It was insane. I mean, the energy was palpitating. And they did this for his wife, you know, like a dance offering for her, and she sat in a chair. I couldn't have asked for anything better to kind of welcome me back. Honestly, that was so special. I wish everybody could get an experience to go to a Thai wedding, especially the morning ceremony. That's special.
Hopefully, PB, if you're looking at this and you get married to your boyfriend, you guys have been dating forever, hopefully I can come back to Thailand and celebrate with you. So get married! When you already said it, you were in Thailand and then you went back to Canada. When you came back to Canada, you kind of went on like this road trip journey. So just tell the viewers out there, why was it so important for you to travel and connect with, you know, people back home once you landed?
Because I had been gone for a while, and, you know, when I had left, it was very shocking for a lot of my friends and family that I was going to be moving to Thailand. That's not something that I think anyone foresaw or could have expected. I've been a traveler my whole life, but that was very shocking. My best friend, who is in the Canadian military, shout out to her. I love her to death. It's hard to be away from your friend. I'm very proud of her, and you know, she's dedicated to helping our country, and I'm very blessed to have a life to be able to go and travel while she is dedicating her time to our country and doing, you know, the kind of work that not a lot of people have the strength and the tenacity to do. So she was in Moncton in the East Coast when I went back. And that's where I went for my road trip, was to go and visit her, which was it was a journey. I drove 36 hours by myself. I went on a solo journey. I talked to myself in the car. I mean, it was a roller coaster. I needed that 36 hours by myself in a car to find myself a little bit.
That's rough. I mean, I just drove like just a few hours from like Los Angeles to San Diego, and I was like, am I gonna make it? When it's a straight shot, that puts you in a daze like nobody's business. It literally it's like a trance. You just like want to fall into the darkness.
The key is that you got to dance and drive. I do not recommend that. That's probably not a safe thing to say to everybody, but you know, I was dancing. I had the music on. I was bumping. I sang my heart out. I'm not a good singer, but I sang my heart out.
I just really try to like irrationally change moods. Like, Okay, so what has navigating abroad taught you? Like, what are some things that you learned that you won't do and aspire to evolve your dating life?
Okay, I've got to say, first of all, that I've got to do a disclaimer that I was in a long distance relationship up until 2 months ago. So I was dating my boyfriend from Michigan up until 2 months ago, which was very difficult. Obviously, anybody who's done long distance knows that's an extremely difficult and hard thing to endure and to go through together. And then COVID happened, and you add the layer of COVID to the long distance that you're already doing. And it makes this opportunity of getting together, even just for a visit, so impossible that pressure really, I think, was what kind of, you know, ended that relationship. But it's okay, because that's life, and, you know, we're all on a journey. So at the moment, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm dating, just because that's still really fresh, and I'm just trying to kind of get a grasp of what I want and what I'm looking for. But 3 years ago when I was here, I was dating, and that was a whole journey. That was a whole experience. I dated some foreigner men, and I also tried dating Thai men. That was very, very different than what I'm used to back at home. Thai culture here for dating and for marriage is very, very...
Is it abrupt or like direct? Because I know it's like that.
No.
I know I experienced like African men approaching me in Thailand, and they were very like, yeah, they were very like, you are my girlfriend, we are going to get married. Like,
I think definitely Thai people they go the same way. Like, if you go on a few dates, they're gonna assume that you're gonna start dating. They don't understand the concept of like, let's get to know each other and see if I would even like to see you again one more time. Do you know what I mean? And then they're like, so we're dating? And you're like, no, that's not it. No, we're definitely not dating. We went on one date. We went to the movies once. In Thailand, there's a lot of relationships that are kind of based off of like a business sense in terms of like survival. So I need to find somebody who's going to help me get through life, that we're going to be able to get through life together, that I'll be able to help him or her. Our families will be able to help each other. There's a really big sense of collectivism here and community, and that is for low-income areas and rural areas in Thailand. That is almost something that is crucial for some people. Like, it's do or die. If you don't get married and you don't have somebody else to help support you and your family, then you are going to not be okay, or as okay as you would like to be. And as your parents get older, you worry about taking care of your parents. There are a lot of different factors here that I think Thai people take into consideration that I don't think that I ever took into consideration when I was dating back at home, and what our dating scene is like in North America.
I know in America it's like, I got my own stuff, you got your own stuff, I can get my own stuff,
you
got your own stuff.
And then it's like, back at home, the thing that I hate the most is that it becomes kind of like a competition of like, who's gonna be like the strongest, hold their fort down, not be too forthcoming, not be too thirsty, you know, this idea of thirsty, like, why can't we just go for somebody? We got to meet in the middle. The Thai people are a little bit too intense sometimes, and then back at home we're a little bit too cold, and we got to meet in the middle.
Somebody. Oh my God, you are preaching. You are preaching. I was just saying, I'm so tired of the games. So many games. it's like, and then you have to survive levels. Like, and then if you don't survive the level, you crash and burn. It's like a video game that you playing out here with your whole life and your whole dating.
Exactly. Except we are not video game characters, and we are people, and we burn out, and we have bad times, and we have good times. I don't have an unlimited amount of battery in me. Sometimes I'm tired.
They just reboot, reset, recharge. Like, this is me. I'm gonna let the light shine on me.
Yes. I have no fear. I have absolutely no fear that if I like somebody, to go like, I like you.
Yeah, scream at the rooftops. I literally did that with a guy, and then like he literally took that as an advantage to be like, oh, I'm gonna string her along, and I'm just gonna have somebody. I'm gonna put her in my corner, and I'm just gonna have these other little thoughts in the other corner. I was telling my friend, I said, I was just honest. I told him everything, and he accepted it, and he accepted my flaws, he accepted my good, he accepted my bad, and I like that about him. But then the fact that I was so honest, he was like, oh, okay, that's my lifeline. That's my lifesaver. No, I don't need no lifesaver, no lifeline. I want to be that bitch. I want to be that it. I want to be all your all.
I want to be everything, and I want you to be my everything, and I want to put our everything together, and I want to make something magical. It's hard, man. It's hard out here. You know what? The dating scene in general, I don't care where you are in the world. I know everybody in the entire world right now, we can just say dating. It sucks ass, and not in the good way.
You're thriving, you're traveling, you're eating healthy, you look snatched, okay? You're teaching. And guys, she speaks Thai, like,
I'm very, very, speaking Thai makes my heart so happy.
I know, it's so sonic, like it's so rhythmical. I love it.
It's so expressive and fun, and now that I understand the concept of the tone, I love that I can bump around on this tone and have fun, you know?
I totally get it. I was watching your video on Snap the other day. I was like, oh, sometimes I have like maybe like 5 people that I follow on Instagram, and they're always speaking Thai, and I'm just like, post more, because they only post like one thing or one like time. I'm like, post more. I love listening to you speak Thai.
Oh, I should post more.
So what are 3 ingredients to thrive and flourish when you are living abroad?
Compassion, flexibility, and fun.
Oh, I love that. Compassion, flexibility, and fun.
That's it, baby. Those are the 3 things that you need. You need compassion for others and their situation and where they come from. You need flexibility because you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone. It's not going to be comfortable for the comfortability that you're used to. And you need fun. You need to have fun. You need to enjoy and just revel in having fun. We as adults, we need to learn how to remember that fun is our right as well.
Okay, so what are 3 things you have to have when you are traveling?
I think the 3 things that you need to have when you're traveling is to be uncomfortable. And if you are not uncomfortable once when you travel, that to me is just different kind of traveling. And that's okay, but for me, be uncomfortable. Number 2, connect with locals. Always. No matter where you go, there is always an opportunity to connect with locals. Even if it's 5 minutes out of your day, I think that if you are taking the time to travel anywhere in the world, that connecting with the locals is a key component. And last one, this is very, very subjective, but I think you always need to have photos. I'm scared to lose my memory when I get older. I feel like I'm going to get a really bad memory, and I just want to be able to look back on photos and remember the moments that I hold dear to my heart. And for me, photos are just really important.
It's just so weird because like all of our photos now is like it's all like on the hard drives, like different platforms, but like we don't print out photos anymore. Like my mom
do.
You do? Okay.
Oh yes, I have them hung up all over my house.
Good. I feel like we should have a balance of both, because like you never know, if everything just erases. MySpace, I don't have any evidence of MySpace. It's just eradicated. So you always want to have a backup. A lot of YouTubers say out there, you always want to have a backup because you never know.
Yeah, definitely always.
And disappear. Facebook is going to disappear. Blah blah blah. What are your long-term goals?
Definitely want to be teaching for the next 2 or 3 years. Since I've broken up with my ex, my plans have been in a massive shift, in my opinion. I was planning on going back to Canada probably sooner than I would now, I think. I'm scared that I want to stay here forever, but I'm not sure. And I think that's okay too, is that I don't really know.
Yeah.
But something that I am feeling really, really motivated and passionate about, and why I love that you have been doing this Life After Travel initiative, and I love how hard you're working, girl. I respect it. I really do want to podcast and talk with people and get a chance to talk to people about what they're doing and what makes them tick, you know, the ups and downs of being a human and what makes us special. So that's something that I do feel passionate about, and I am kind of working on some goals for that. But
next paycheck, go to Amazon and get that podcasting mic and just do it. Okay,
I should just go for it, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of doing a podcast while I'm driving my motorbike and traveling around.
Wow, that could be dangerous.
I think it would be really, really fun, and I think that for me, it's a great opportunity to stay focused while I'm driving and talk about things. It gives me something grounding, because it can get boring when we're driving. You're talking about that, right? It can get boring. I'm on the bike.
I'm talking about going into like a trance sleep. That's past boredom. That's just your body shutting down, saying go to sleep.
Just shut down.
So, but thank you so much for being here. Like, I'm just so glad we finally got to meet.
Thank you. This was amazing to catch up. You know, I miss you. I miss your energy. I miss everything about you. And I'm hoping and praying for everybody back at home, for you guys in Canada and the US. I really hope that, you know, this can go in a positive direction, and that people can start getting some healing, and you guys can get some travel time soon.